Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Communities Live here at Sheffield Live 93.2 FM. And we have singer-songwriter Josh Frederick from Who Saves a Hero. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How's it going?
All right, thank you. It's quite warm here in sunny Sheffield. How is it on your end?
Oh, it's absolutely hammering down with rain.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Hopefully it does.
classic Welsh weather.
I'm gonna say, hopefully it doesn't spoil your day though today, Bill, mate. Hey.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm used to it by now. It's always raining in Wales.
So tell us a bit about Who Saves a Hero. I mean, how did this start?
God. Um, so the band originally started a long time ago in 2004. Um, we originally started under the name Twice My Size, and we did that for a long time, and then we rebranded to Who Saves the Hero in 2014. Then
And I mean, who are your main influences? And also, if there was anybody that you could work with in the near future, who would it be and why?
so influence wise, loads. Like, Blink 182 is one of my favorite bands, as in like from the pop punk scene and genre. But I'm a big fan of like the country music. Eagles, probably one of my favorite rock bands, and country rock bands. Big fan of the Eagles. And yeah, but so many artists, to be honest. It's hard to just pick, you know. But working wise, as a songwriter, I'd love to work with a guy called John Belliam, because he's probably one of my. He's a pop artist. It's nothing to do with what kind of stuff we do with the band. Like, I do pull influences now and again for that poppier sound from him. But as a songwriter and a writer, I'd love to write and work with John Belliam. He is a pop artist, but I would love to work with him, because I think he's one of the best songwriters in today's times. And you know,
And I mean, to anybody that wants to like break into music, not necessarily the music industry, but into music itself, I mean, what advice would you give to our listeners? And also, how difficult is it?
it's hard. The biggest, especially being in a band, the biggest challenge is keeping three, four, five, six people together for a long period of time, because, as a lot of people know, you don't make any money in the music industry, so you've got to juggle life. And like, as people get older, it's a lot easier when you're younger, like when you're a teenager, because you ain't got as much commitment and whatever. But as life goes on, it starts getting harder. Then people start, getting jobs and making the decision whether they actually want to try and push music but be skint for a long time,
Yeah.
or do it as more of a hobby. And if it does blow up and things work out, then it works out. But in my opinion, if you want to do it, you got to be full on. You got to go for it. Otherwise, because like, you could have that time where you're busy, and then you stop for a little bit, and you can still be a little bit busy, I guess, like posting stuff online. But the consistency is key if you want to go anywhere in music, in my opinion.
I mean, do you feel you just mentioned a good point there? I mean, about digital platforms with online stuff. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, it wasn't even around. It didn't even exist.
No.
A lot of people.
Well, I'm 33. Even when I started out, social media was just really starting. And when we started as a band, we had MySpace, which was probably one of the best platforms that's ever existed for like musicians, artists, bands, like
Yeah.
anything like that, really creative. But it's yeah. We still had to do a lot of the flyering posters, and
Yeah.
going around to shops, putting them in the windows, and like trying to make people come to the shows, but physically trying to do it. We didn't
Sure.
really have the platform. Like, people were online, but it wasn't as important. Where now it's like the be all or end all. But in my opinion, I reckon you still need the old school as well as the new school, if that makes sense. So, I like, a lot of people don't do PR stuff anymore. It's all important.
Yeah,
So everything is important. You still need to do it all. A lot of the old school stuff is still used by a lot of labels that people don't even really see or realize that they're still doing these things, for
yeah,
like radio and press, press releases in general, where you get a magazine write up or a blog or like what we are doing now, interviews. I think they're important
yeah.
because you will reach, even if you're reaching 5 people, it's 5 more people listening to your music.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, every person counts. I do agree with you on that. I mean, and also, I mean, this is a controversial question that I'm going to ask you, and if you can't answer it, that's completely fine. How do you feel about AI in the creative industry? I mean, do you feel it's a benefit?
I personally don't like it, because it's cheating, isn't it? Like if you can't write, like if you were a surgeon, like say you were like doing heart surgery, you'd have to know how to do heart surgery. You couldn't just go in and start playing about with someone's insides. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
If that makes sense. And it's the same with music. If you can't do it, then find something you can do. I don't think people should be cheating. Like I don't. I think AI is good for certain things, but music industry wise, I think it's saturating it because there's a lot of fake music out there, and also you've got these bot stuff that's going on. Like it messes things up for a lot of people, in my opinion. Like it's
yeah.
not true, and so most of these platforms, they work off the algorithm works off truth, really. Even though like they will catch up to you if that makes sense.
Sure. And I mean, I've got to be honest as well. I mean, I saw a trailer. I can't remember what the film was called, but a well-known actor, I mean, a legendary actor, should I say, Val Kilmer. They were using an AI version of Val Kilmer in the film, and I personally, honestly, this is my preference. I mean, I'm not sure what anybody else says. I didn't really like it. It just,
No, no, no.
it's so frightening, really, what we can do with it.
It is, yeah. Like because it's become real, like really realistic.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's not real, and I just don't understand that. It just goes a bit over my head. Like I'm not a fan of the AI, and especially like I said, especially for the arts industry in general, whether that's film, TV, music, whatever, it's saturating, it's ruining
yeah,
people who are really creative that like sitting there and actually physically doing things, whether it's writing a script for a film, like putting together a storyboard for a film, or whether you're writing a song, like lyrics, melodies, music. It's a physical thing. You have to
yeah.
physically do it. Where sitting there and just going, right, write me a song or write me a film on this subject, enter, and then it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's ruining things for a lot of people. It's making everything harder for people to break out in all these arts industries in general. Whether,
Yeah.
like I said, whether it's film, TV, radio, or whatever it is, music, like it's making things harder.
I want to say thank you for sharing that with me, Josh. Thank you for answering that question. Thank you.
No
Uh,
problem at all.
I mean, you've got a new album now, so it's called Love, Hate, Demons, which has been
That's right.
released on
Yeah.
February 20th of this year. So
Yeah, that's
tell
right.
us a bit more about the album and how long did it take to make?
Oh, I started writing the album probably like 2 years ago. It took about a year to write. Um, like some album processes can take longer. Some people might take be quicker, but basically the way I done it is I wrote all the music, and originally I went like my friends are he writes for a lot of like pop stuff. He's quite a big songwriter. He's doing a lot of K-pop stuff at the moment. His name's Evan Gardner. He lives up in the valleys, like up not far from me, and we've always wanted to write together. So I approached him with the song, and we were like, "Oh, we'll write the song together for the album." And after we wrote the first song, I was like, "Oh, this is just good. It works." So,
Yeah,
and then he was like really happy that I asked him then to be like, "Oh, do you want to write the album with me?" So basically, what I did is I wrote the music, and then I approached him then for the lyrics and melodies, and we sat down and we worked through. I'm like, I've never really done that before. It's always just been me, or maybe a member or two who's been in the band over the years. So it was nice to like write with another songwriter, and it was a lot of fun. And that's how the album came together. And then we went August, I think it was August. not last year, the year before, maybe. It might be 3 years ago that we did it. I can't really remember the timeline properly. But then we went into the studio in Newcastle and we recorded in a studio called iHeart Studio, which was with a producer called George Collins. And then, yeah, we went from there. But this is like the first independent release for for 3 or 4 years. Like, we signed at the start of lockdown and we released the first EP all as singles, and then we released an EP, like a full EP, like 6 tracks, and then we did 2 independent singles, and then we moved on to the album. But this is the first time we've been independent for a while, so it's interesting to see how it's going to do on without any backing, but also it's going to cost us a fortune.
And I mean, was there any songs that you currently wrote for the album that unfortunately didn't make the cut that you might be saving for potentially a next album?
Yeah, I did have a few songs, and they say it is few musically written, that will probably go forward for other stuff, or maybe I'll rework things sometimes because I'm really picky when it comes to that. If I don't feel like when I start writing, if I don't feel it, I'm like, this isn't working. It's got to give me a spark as well. Do you know what I mean? I've got to be like, oh,
Yeah,
this sounds really cool. Like, I try to take myself away from the writing process as an artist, and as a band, like as this is my song, and be like, what would other people like? If I heard this and this wasn't mine, what would I think of it? Would I think it's cool, or would I think it's just another song? Do you know what I mean?
sure.
But
And I
there
mean,
is songs on the album. I will say, sorry to cut you off.
oh,
There is songs on this album, two musically, that were written before for the last EP, that I reworked a bit of the music and then we rewrote the lyrics and melodies in. So there is some songs that two, I think, if I remember right, have made this album that were originally written for the EP but didn't make the EP.
right. Interesting. So, watch your space, ladies and gentlemen. I will say that. And I mean, to our listeners at home as well. I mean, how difficult is it to find that sound that you're looking for? I mean, have you found what you're looking for, or is it still an ongoing creative
No,
process?
I think I found kind of what I can do with music. I don't specific like it's not. I'm not looking for a specific sound. I know that sounds a bit crazy, like, but I just like good songs, and what I'm trying to do going forward is still have my sound there, like, because it still sounds like Who Saves a Hero if you've ever listened, or anyone's ever listened to like the older stuff. But I put my stamp on it genre wise, because like we've got some on there that's got like a reggae kind of vibe, and then you got one that's like more of a country, and then one's really poppy sounding, and then one's like darker, like a bit heavier sounding, but it still sounds like Who Saves a Hero. So I think I found a way now to write songs like musically that it's all a bit different, and I'm pulling in influences from everything I like, because I'm like a massive pop song. I love pop music, you know what I mean? And I love country, and I love my hip hop and rap, and I love dance music. I love a bit of everything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to pull loads of different things and genres and different styles into my music, but still making it sound like, oh, Josh has written that,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, completely makes sense, Josh. Thank you. And I mean, so how can people get a copy of your new album? I mean, is it released digitally, and also is there any physical copies that people can get?
So it's all online. It's all on all the streaming platforms. That's literally what we're working on at the moment, is tours and like some shows to promote in. Obviously touring. Like, our first lot of shows is going to be Germany in June, and then we'll be doing the UK at the end of the year. Then I just wanted to give it some time, basically, to have a bit of love online, because obviously streaming is a big part of it now.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing some content stuff and some videos, and as much as people hate doing it, um, you've got to do it. You've got to stick with the times, as they say. It
So,
can be a bit daunting, like, but you've just got to do it. But try and find your own way of doing it. Don't just copy people. Just think, oh, what can I do that's like still going to come across like similar to like writing a song. You use it as an influence, and then make your own version of a like content or whatever you want to make. But back to physicals, we are working on sorting out vinyls. I don't know if we're going to be doing CDs for this just yet, but we're definitely going to be bringing it out on vinyl. So if you keep an eye on our Facebook, Instagram, everything online, then we will be announcing that very soon.
And you mentioned about an upcoming tour as well. I mean, you said you'll be touring the UK later on in the year. Will you be coming to Sheffield at any point?
Well, we're hoping. Yeah, I'd like to come. I don't really know if we've played Sheffield, which is probably one of the only places we've never played. I've been through Sheffield plenty of times because I actually work in the music industry. I am a tour manager and I work with a lot of bands and artists anyway. So I've been to the corporation and just all the venues basically in Sheffield. But yeah, I would like to get. I love Sheffield. I think it's a wicked city. I think it's one of the good ones.
Well, I hope you do come. I mean, because I would love to see you perform. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, I always say, like if people want to see the real Who Saves the Hero, they need to come see us play live because we are a live band. We do we'll give you a show. Put it that way.
I'll definitely be there if you definitely come to Sheffield.
Yeah,
So, I
thank you,
mean,
man.
what's next for you, Josh, and what's next for Who Saves the Hero? I mean, you've recently released a new album, you've got an upcoming tour. So, what's next for you? I mean, have you got any upcoming projects that you're working on, or is it all secretive at the moment?
No, well, just honestly, I just want to push this album. I reckon the album cycle is a lot shorter now than it's ever been. It used to be 2 or 3 years for an album cycle, but I do think you still need that time to push it. That's why I haven't rushed into just going out and playing shows. I want people to because some people will be discovering us through this album and not know any of the older stuff, and not be a fan already. So I just want to give it his time, really, because I reckon we've done a good job. It's a good album. I think it's a good album, and I reckon it deserves a lot of attention. So I think we're just gonna push this for the next year and a half. I've already got a load of other songs written for going forward. Some songs are probably way, way more creative and better writing wise than some of the stuff on the album as well. But the plan is to push this album for the next year and a half. We have got a single that we're going to go in and record, hopefully before the end of the year, and we probably will drop that at some point. But it's got to be right because I've got some plans for that, which I'm not going to say anything about. But I've got some plans for that single. So yeah, that's the
So,
plans going forward at the moment.
so watch this space, ladies and gentlemen, on that. And so, I mean, how can people follow you how can people follow you? Do you have like social media platforms like Instagram,
Yeah, so
Twitter?
everything online is basically just Who Saves the Hero. I think the handle on Instagram is Who Saves the Hero and underscore UK, but everything else is Who Saves the Hero. It's quite a unique name, really. So you can if you Google it, we are the first things that come up on Google as well. So you'll see everything, our YouTube, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the stuff, like all the good stuff, as people like now.
And I mean, again, for people who want to buy a copy of your album, how can people get a a copy of your album?
Just follow us online, and everything will be posted. Like we post everything online. Like we are pretty on it when it comes to online. Like we keep in touch with everyone. We message everyone. Do you know what I mean? And we post as much as we can. We've always got something going up online. So yeah, you won't miss it if you follow us. You won't miss it.
Josh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today. My final
Thanks for
question,
having me.
my final question for you is: what would you like to say to our listeners who is currently listening right now?
Go and check the album out and come and see us play. That's all I can say is come and see us play live, and we will not disappoint. Whether you like the music or not, you will like us. We will have some fun. I can promise you that.
Josh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time, and I want to wish you all the best on your new album and your upcoming tour.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me as well. I really appreciate it.